The content and opinions shared on Talking Randomish are intended for entertainment and informational purposes. They reflect the personal views of the host and guests and do not constitute professional advice or represent any affiliated organization.
We're talking randomly. Talking random. We're talking randomly. Talking random.
Yeah, yo. Welcome back. To Barber Talk, Talking Randomish. I am your master barber, R.B. Gay, kind. Got my boy, well, most of the band we're back together. We got Slim Fit is in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
Good, man. I'm feeling good. Good time for me to have a vacation. And I'm about sick of that job, man.
No, you ain't.
Yes, I am.
No, you ain't, Sam.
I've never heard you say that.
No, you ain't.
I actually never heard him say that.
I think I talk to Lee about it a lot. He knows I'm tired.
But can't you come off the road?
Can I what?
Can't you come off the road? If you decide,
Nah.
you can't.
Nah. I'll just try to do these last 2 years and that's it. But it's not just the job, it's the people, the management team, the higher ups.
Is it because
I have to deal with them?
because you
So
is it because of the last shrinkage?
No.
Or has it always been this way?
It ain't always been this way. Like I said, it's the people. Like I'm in a different hub. So, I'm trying to transition to where I was super comfortable with everybody, all the way up, division managers and all that. And now it's a different monster. So
Did you have to move, or was that
I
your
wanted
choice?
to because it was closer to home. Yeah.
Because in the last conversation we had, you said 8 years. And I'm like,
Oh no.
now you saying 2.
After what happened to me last year, that toned it down to 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a good move, man. Good move. Wasn't a good transition. Wasn't a good move. You wish you'd stayed where you were?
No, it was the right move.
Okay.
Like I'm closer to home. I've been commuting for the past 20-some years.
Yeah.
But it was closer to home, real easy. 85, boom, I'm right there. It's just the people. Yeah, it's a whole different monster. A whole different monster.
And that make a difference now.
Yeah.
The people that you have to deal with daily is It makes a difference. Scalper, chair number 1.
What's up, buddy?
What's good with you, Farmer John?
Here we go. I'm good. Still trying to maintain.
Had the man extraordinaire. What they fighting over you this week?
Nah, I was on vacation this week for real.
Oh, he's on vacation from everybody, huh?
Everybody, I was on vacation this week. But no, I'm good though, man. Just ready to get learn some more about this autism. It's very interesting.
Yes, sir. And
learning a lot, just stuff that you just think but
It's like I said, when you brought that up, break. I'm like, I had thought about it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just make you have to give people grace now.
Right.
Because we
talking
people some grace.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what education does. Education gives you patience.
Right.
When you
For sure.
when you know better. You
Now
know
I
better.
want Sam, since we back on it, I want you to talk about the levels because there are different levels to this thing.
Well, absolutely.
Because and we go back to Sheldon. I have to go with I know Sheldon and Sam from Atypical. They're high functioning.
Yeah.
And they can potentially maneuver out in the
navigate
world.
through life.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of that has to do, that's why it's called the spectrum and why it's so broad, because as you alluded to, those two examples are what's considered high functioning. The young man I talked about earlier, David, he would be considered high functioning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Xavier would be on the lower end of the spectrum because he would never be able to be independent on himself. Although he had some sense of independence, but you see what I'm saying? But he would never be able to cook for himself. He would never be able to drive or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely different levels to it, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
And the independence part is what a lot of the people on the, I think they go to like stages now. They call it stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
And this, of course, stage 3, being the one that needs the most help. And the lesser, the more they say, well, you won't need that much help. So like I said, David will one day he'll be independent. He'll be able to live on him by himself. A friend of mine now, group that we partnership with out of Indiana, they flew me and my wife out last year to be the speaker at their Black Tie Gala. Their son, how we connected was on Facebook. Their son, his name is Sam. His name is Sam. Sam Mitchell. He has a podcast called Autism Rocks and Rolls. That blew my mind because it was speaking to everything that I was saying about the possibilities that autistic people have. Because one of the monikers that I always say, if you're given the opportunity, the possibilities are endless. And he is thriving. I mean, he's been on TED Talk. I mean, he goes all around the country talking. And I think he's getting ready to transition to even getting his own place now. Because we went to his gala this year. We went back out to Indiana again this year for the gala again this year. Because like I said, they even flew in, they drove to coming to our gala too. So it's been like a family thing for them. So he's what you would call high functioning. And his mom is nervous about him moving out on his own, but he's ready. It's something that he wants to do. So you just have to judge pretty much how they are and be honest about where they are. And because a lot of times they're not realistic about themselves being ready because they want to, but you have to let them understand and make sure they understand. Because, for instance, I have a young man that the job that I retired from, his mom and dad never thought he would be able to live on his own. They just thought he would always be there with them. But, and because he's a friend of my brother's, and I met him at church, and I told him, I said, we're hiring those. So we got him in. So I got him in there, and he was one of the best employees that they had. And this was like 12 years ago. And now he has his own mortgage, bought a brand new truck, has his own, got a 401k, got all that, and he's thriving, but he still has those social limitations. So when I was there, if something was going on with him, he would come get me because he knew, that was someone he could talk to. And what that morphed into, you see how God is, it morphed into when I partnered with the people from Autism Rocks Road, Indiana, they're putting together what they call modules. So that when in the workplace, people on the spectrum, if they had what Ethan had, I didn't give his last name, so maybe I'll be okay. If they had what Ethan had, someone that they could talk to if they're having problems on the job that they could strive. Ethan's been there 10 years now. Okay. See what I'm saying? And his mom and dad, every time they see me, and I tell them they don't have to thank me, I said, you got to thank your son because I just got him the opportunity. Right. Which goes back to what I said, given the opportunity, the possibilities are endless. Because they said, we never imagined him ever leaving our home. And she said, and every time he invites us over, we come back and say, man, Sam, what a blessing Sam was. And I said, you got to give him credit and you got to give God credit because. Absolutely. But that, and I didn't think it was going to turn into that, but when I gave them that example of Autism Rocks and Roll, that became part of one of the modules that they want to try to get into all the workplaces. Just have a place, a liaison, between workforce and management to help them navigate when they do have problems socially in that family.
Because we was talking about I have the last mayoral candidate next week coming in here, and one of the questions I have for them is about people with disabilities being in the workforce because 2 months ago. He had Precious and her son. Now, it's a different disability, but he wants to work. Her son wants to work. And given the opportunities and is the workforce, or is America doing what they should do for these people that want the opportunities? Are there enough of these opportunities for people that's we deem not normal?
Here's what I say to that. They're doing just enough, but not enough. They're not doing enough. Because the tolerance for it, you see what I'm saying? If you know, they try to, the guidelines that they have for somebody who doesn't have a disability, can't be the same guidelines as somebody who's with a disability. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you try to adhere and hold them to the same standard. Well, don't pay them the same wage. But that there's a human being side to this thing that you can't, but it has to be taken care of. It can't be ignored. You see what I'm saying? Say for instance, if they're having a problem and they leave because they want to get out of that place because it's giving them a problem, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get an occurrence. Then you're going to get enough occurrences, you're going to fire them. You see, but the reason they're getting those occurrences is not being addressed. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say they're doing enough, but not enough. They're doing just enough, but not enough.
But they're also pushing that inclusion movement.
That's the word.
Too.
Yes.
Yeah. Trying to, you know, where they're treated as equal, but they're not. So there's a gray area in there.
But yeah, it is a gray area. But what I'm saying, from why I see it, they don't do enough. They could do more. Put it that way, I think. And I don't know everything. You know, I know a group of people tell you I don't know nothing, but I don't know. But I'm just a person that cares about people.
Yes.
And that was one of the reasons for the Hope for Xavier Foundation, is that I want people to know that it's okay. You know, that diagnosis is not a death sentence. Okay, there's ways to navigate this thing where everybody can smile, everybody can laugh, everybody can have a normal life.
Well, let's talk about the foundation.
Okay. The Hope for Xavier Foundation, it was founded in 2015. And again, it was started, there was a friend of mine, actually she was my neighbor. We grew up 300 yards apart. As it turns out, my son had autism, her son had autism too. But we met and Xavier and I just happened to be out in a grocery store one day. And we heard a commotion on the other aisle. And then I heard a voice. I recognized it was Wanda. Her name was Wanda Thompson. And I was like, what's going on? So me and Xavier, we went around. And, you know, her son was having what people like to call a meltdown. You know, and then because she knew that Xavier had got diagnosed in 96. And what, you know, and she was noticing, you know, how well behaved he was. And I would say, well, that early intervention is absolutely the key. I said, you know, shout out again to, you know, to his biological mom for, you know, getting him seen it to. And she was saying, and Wanda says, you know what, we ought to, with all this information we ought to start a nonprofit and let people know about autism. I said, okay, let's do that. But at the time, it's in 2008, I'm unemployed. Getting a check for $375 a week. My rent is $700 a month. So but anyway, I was just trying to get it together on that because she said she's going to help. You know, and that's where it kind of birthed. Lo and behold, fast forward, Wanda also had lupus, and she was getting ready to transition. But her faith in God, and like I said, God is amazing. My brother, who went to see her, and one of the questions that she asked him while he was there, she said, "Has Sam started that nonprofit yet?" And she said, "Well, I think he filed paperwork for the state," which I did because that was cheap. That was the cheap part, but you know. And she said, "This is what she said." She said, "When I get out of here, I'm going to help him finish starting that nonprofit." And 3 days later, she transitioned. which is why we started the Wanda Lene Emerson Thompson Memorial Scholarship Award to honor her because she never got to see it get off the ground. Like I said, 2015 is when it officially got off the ground. But we have doing, background work, talking to people, telling them where to go to get diagnosis, what you need for this and what you need for that. So, but the official organization started in 2015. Like I said, we're a nonprofit. You can look us up. We're on the IRS website. We're on all of that. So we are legit. But that was one of the things that giving that scholarship an honor in her name, because that's what we do with all the merchandise that we sell. And of course, we go set up at functions. Somebody have a spot. We'll set up giveaway literature. We don't sell anything. Anything we sell goes to the scholarship fund, and of course, they incur the cost of the printing of the stuff that we have to print and give away. So that's what I like. But that is where it started from in 2015. And I look at that picture now because we celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. Of course, we had to do it without Xavier because, of course, he passed. He also had a seizure condition. He fell, broke his neck. He fractured his C5 vertebrae. He survived that surgery, but his organs started shutting down like that. One day, 19 in the ICU, and he passed. They passed on 11 days after his 32nd birthday. Wow. And so that fueled and drives to keep that legacy going. So everybody that's been a part of it, because one thing about grief, it can drown you or it'll drive you, depending on your perspective.
Yes.
And I owed it to him because of what he meant so much to me, because if I make it to heaven, it'll be because of that young man and his perspective that he changed me. Because again, I tell people, I didn't believe in God until my son was born in 92. And then I saw the amazing things that was coming. And I had to tell God, I am sorry. I am sorry. And they say he throws it in the sea of forgiveness, but I got to say I'm sorry. And for 32 years and 11 days, that young man changed my life and my perspective. And I owe it to him because I never thought that I would be on this earth without him. My biggest fear was if I passed, what would happen to him? Yeah. I never in a million, because I'm 30 years older than he is. I had him when I was 30. So, math doesn't math for me to be him for him all his life.
Absolutely.
And then this happened. And so this foundation is very strong. And like I said, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about it. Shout out to all the people that are involved in it. Annette Studderman, she's a council lady in Jefferson. My wife, Dawn Kofer Hutchins, Teresa Bonds Hopkins. I think I got the name backward, Hopkins Bonds. But Teresa, you know what I'm talking about. And Bridget Wilson, and of course, Zara Brown. We're small in number, but we wake up for that with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of hard work. But we're here to support. We're here to offer support. And that was where that foundation started from. So we've been around for, like I said, 15 years. And we got a website, if you want information on, what doctor to go see. The website is hopeforxavierfoundation.org. That's the number 4, not FOR. That's where a lot of people get it mixed up. They say hope for the number 4, xavierfoundation.org. You can go to that, and like I said, we got information about if you see 10 signs, you got 10 signs. If you see 2 of them, I tell people, if you see 2 signs, go have your person tested, because a lot of people will say, again, get back to what we was talking to earlier segments, well, they'll grow out of it. The early intervention is the reason that Xavier had the quality of life that he had, being diagnosed at 2, paying attention at 2 as opposed to 12 or page to 7. And not that it's too late when they go at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but you just made it a lot more difficult. But it's not impossible. Difficult, but not impossible.
So, like if I reached out and on to the foundation, what is, I got a kid and I don't, and I'm a little ashamed because I know, go back to my shows, Atypical, his dad initially was a little ashamed because his son, this is my son. and the only son I have is something do y'all have that kind of counseling for the parents
Yes.
and stuff? Because I know a lot of times we talk about the kids and the person that this stuff is happening to, but what about you, the caregivers? What kind of services and things do y'all have for the caregivers?
We have a support group, and for whatever reason, people don't really use it like they should. We got what's called a support group, because, like you said, the stigma of being ashamed, and a lot of people just say, I just keep my kid at home, or I just won't take them in certain environments and stuff like that. But it's a support group, and I get requests from people that know me, and they say, I talked with this young lady, and she says she needs some help about yada yada yada. Absolutely, pass her my number, have her call me. And sometimes they'll call, sometimes they won't. But when the ones that do call, I give them everything that I have about the experiences that I have from dealing with autism. Like I say, I got 32 years in this thing. And like I tell people all the time, I'm not ABA, I don't have a degree, anything, but I got a PhD in Xavier Hutchins. So I can tell you from the wealth of experience that young man gave me, and that I passed throughout throughout the organization, throughout our communities, whatever it is that you want to know about autism, if I don't know it, I will find out. And a lot of times I tell people I don't have the answers, but the answer can be found in the conversation. Let's have a conversation. Because that's I don't understand why people won't support it. Won't participate in it. You bounce off ideas and you find out, how to cope this. And again, I'm in the process of very early stages of probably putting like a directory, because Xavier saw doctors, he saw dentists, he saw, and so these doctors and dentists and churches, they specifically understand this situation and they're tolerant of these situations. Like when you go to a church, shout out to Greater Breakthrough Christian Ministries. If a child comes in there that's got autism, we got a place for them. We tolerate that. And one of the things that I'm trying to put together is that, like, when a lot of them come in, because Xavier didn't like the sermon, so to speak, but he loved the music. But once the choir stopped singing, his attention wanted to be with this. So what I did was I would bring him, give him my phone, headphones on, so he could listen to YouTube. And he said that the whole time he's fine. So what I thought would be a good idea was this: if some churches just had tablets on hand, you see what I'm saying, with the headphones, because a lot of kids will come in there and that will calm them. I'm not saying a whole bunch, even maybe 5 to 10, depending on the size of your church, to make accommodations for them so they can experience the worship service, because that's important. Because Xavier loved going to church. Shout out to Pastor Sylvania Watkins in Greater Breakthrough Christian Ministries. But he loved going to that church. I think maybe part of too because my pastor has a pretty wife and Xavier had this thing for pretty women.
There's something about a pretty woman, We hold your attention.
So there's that. But and you'll also notice on the website, I'm available for speaking engagements. I'll come and talk to a church. I'll come and talk to a group of people. I'll come and talk to somebody individually. I just want everybody to know this thing is not as bad as you think it is. But again, it always goes back to my faith in God that has sustained me and continues to sustain me, because
yes, sir.
I miss my son.
Yes, sir.
I miss my son.
Hey, man, like that. I can't imagine losing my babies, but I lost my mama, and and we lost her mama. So
Absolutely.
We definitely understand that. And speaking of your pastor, I'm trying to get him in here on May the 21st. So when you see him,
yes. As a matter of fact, I just talked to him before y'all pulled up. Come in here.
Let him know that because and what we're doing, because May is mental health, and I want to do one on grief, dealing with grief, and I would like for him, because I know he recently have been through some stuff.
Absolutely.
And and how our pastor, I would like be and how they deal with they people and deal with it themselves.
Absolutely.
So
Because there's a human being attached to that situation.
Yes. Yes.
They
Yes.
tend to be forgotten
Absolutely.
because it's their job, so to speak. They don't hurt as well, but they do. But we do. So.
Yeah. So that's So when you talk to your pastor again, let him know
I would certainly will.
that we definitely needs him in him. But what is the thing that you miss most about Isaiah?
About Xavier.
Xavier.
Same name as your son.
Yeah.
And that's an easy one for
That is
me.
my son.
It's about what I miss most about Xavier is that place he used to take me. He used to put me, and he always paid attention to me. And to the side of when he got in, he was a little bit of he had a vanity problem because when he got in the car, he would pull up the vanity mirror, and he would look at himself in the mirror.
Yes, sir.
And then he would start laughing. And the crazy part, his mom his biological mom used to just yell at him because she was a neat freak, cleaned the mirrors, and he had lip prints on it where he kissed himself in the
Yes, sir.
and that used to drive her nuts. And but it's easy for me because we would be riding, and with me, I got so much stuff going on in my head. And when he got in the car, he would look at me. I call when it was just me and him. His nickname, he was Stinkum. That's what I called him, Stinkum. And then and then he would just look over and could see that my mind was somewhere other than where he was. And he would take that big left hand and put it out there and put my hand in there, just like saying, "Dad, it's me and you." And when he did that, time didn't exist.
Right.
Geography, nothing existed but just he and I, where we were. And whatever I was worried about, whatever I was bothered with, it went away. And it's instantly when he put that big left hand over there, because he put that hand out there, so I put my hand in his and I squared it. I said, okay, I got it. I said, okay, we good. Because his whole thing was for me to smile and laugh, because that was our thing, smiling and laughing. And he didn't when that was absent. He trying to get us back to that smiling and laughing. So that's the thing I was going through. I don't care, how big the problem was. That hand, that left hand, my hand in that left hand. Just this is where, and I haven't been to that place since he left. And I have dreams and.
Take your time.
But that's what I miss the most, because he could take me there, and I still got this thing. I tell him good morning, and I tell him good night, and still, and that which again, I'm not a grieving person. I'm grieving, but she says I'm not gonna let grief, dictate how I treat people, how I live, how I view life. It's going to drive me to continue his legacy and what it is that he meant to me and what he meant to so many other people. Because and I still say this: when people in the community that we lived in thought about autism, Xavier became the face of autism because there was so many people, like what you said, never heard of it, did not understand it. But once, because we used to go around, we would get requests to come to churches and talk about autism. The pastor would give us, a little 10 or 15 minute speech, talk about autism. Shout out to Tabernacle, Pastor Kenny Cooper, who first started doing that. They would let us come and give us like 15 minutes to, explain to people what autism was, and that's what that stuff like that helps to get that word out, to get the awareness, in which, I guess. Terrible segue, but that's why I wrote a book too. So
let's talk about your book.
I've also bought a book. It's called "He Never Complains: Sam and Xavier, a father and son's journey with autism." And it's not just about Xavier. It's also about me and how, in reflection. And the thing about life, as we all know, We live it forward, but we don't understand it. We understand it backwards. But I looked at back and seen by some of the thoughts that I had as early as 10 years old while I was having those thoughts, and it all culminates into the one fact that God had been preparing me to be Xavier's dad all my life. And that part's in the book. There's some other things in there too. Of course, the diagnosis, how we went through it. And like I said, this was never about just me. But this is just my story, because everybody that got involved with Xavier, you got your own story that you could tell. So I didn't want people to think, well, he just raised him by himself. No, I did not raise my son by myself. I've had a multitude of help, like I say, his siblings. The woman that I married, she met Xavier when she was 18, but he fell in love with her right off the bat. Like I say, his biological mom insisting that it too, something was not right. She being that stern voice and that discipline that he needed, because like they say, I let him get away with everything. Because his sister Carlita, shout out to her, she would always say, because he had these eyes, even my wife would say that. She said, it's a good thing you're nonverbal. She said, because them eyes would just melt a woman's heart. And what are you talking about? But anyway, my daughter would say, he would look at her with those eyes, I'm assuming, because I would hear her say, that don't work on nobody but daddy. You're going to do what I'm telling you to do. That don't work on nobody but daddy. And I'm in the other room like, am I that much of a pushover?
Question yourself.
But what I'm saying is he needed all of that.
Yes.
The discipline, the sternness, to see everything that he got from the members of his family and people like that. And that's what drives the Hope for Xavier Foundation. Because I thought everybody should have that. If you had the... And stop looking at it. And our government, oh my God, when he came out with the Tylenol thing, I'm like, Tylenol is how old and autism is how old? How does that? So what happened before Tylenol and people were getting it? Come on. And we got to stop looking at it as something that needs to be fixed. Okay? Because it's not something that needs to be fixed. It needs to be understood.
Yes.
That's what it needs. We need more programs for transitioning from high school to life.
Yes.
Right.
Because a 5-year-old on the spectrum is going to be a 30-year-old on the spectrum in 25 years. Right. Now what? You see what I'm saying? That's the thing that we advocate for. That's the thing that we want people, and the work modules that the work that they're doing at Autism Rocks and Rolls, and they got a module and they're going to help me bring it here to Georgia. This is something that I'm trying to get to and put in place called Xavier's Law, because that young man that got killed because they autistic and thought that he was a threat. You shot this kid, young man, he's 20, you shot him 20-something times.
Right.
And they said, I don't know. I didn't know he had autism. We thought this. But if you could have something in place that if a police officer or an EMT is dispatched and said, the residence that you're going to, an autistic a person lives here, right. Your training needs to kick in. So when you get there, you don't treat him like he's an average person that you're going to get. You shot him 12 times. And the crazy part about it was at a roundtable discussion 2 months before this, that was one thing that I used to say that I was afraid about Xavier because he was so big.
Yes. Yes.
And he couldn't talk. And somebody's shooting him because he refused a command or he didn't do a command.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and like I said, it's cliche. Yeah, people say, well, he don't look autistic. Well, what is it? Well, what does autistic look like?
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? But again, that lady has to live with that. She was holding her son, putting him back, and a neighbor made the call. Because she was in danger. The neighbors seen it, thought he was in danger, thought she was in danger, called the police. 12 bullets? You shot this kid. Life support for 3 days, and then they finally had to, and it's a news cycle for 2 weeks, and now it's gone. But I'm saying that's the basis for Xavier's Law. So that you can have some kind of, know that when you're going there, whatever training you've had with autistic, it should kick in now. instead of you pulling out guns, blowing out drones.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then if he doesn't add to the command, pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's part of what this whole Xavier Foundation is all about too. So maybe you'll see me standing on the steps of Washington one day holding a proclamation or something. But this thing is deep, and like I said, it was pushed by my son. And like I said, to get the copy of the book. It's on Amazon. My pen name is Coach Sam. That came from because I coached YMCA and AAU basketball for over 20-something years.
Okay.
So that's where the pen name Coach Sam came from. Shout out to Tanisha. She's the one talking when I was looking for a pen name when I wrote the book. She's like, "You Coach Sam," because everybody still calls you Coach Sam. I thought, okay, there you go. Like I say, sometimes it's set that simple. No, thank
Keep
you.
it simple.
Can I see your book?
Yes.
Did Xavier play?
No. Here's the thing. Xavier could care less about sports. The only thing he cared about was being with me. Because he would, and this is the thing, I would come home, and of course he made a beeline for me and grabbed my hand, set me down on the couch. He would get the remote, and no, he didn't know what channel ESPN was on, but he turned the TV till it got to ESPN.
Yes.
And me and him sat right there and watched ESPN
Wow.
every day.
Oh, wow.
That was every
So
day.
he did
And
that because you like ESPN.
That's what. There you go.
That's right.
And that was that bond with me and him. And he would not let anybody sit in between me and him. It was like, and if somebody was close to me, he got in between them. It was he did that.
The big boy got in there.
Yeah, and he made every sign I made. Like if I'm watching a game and I say yes, he would look at me. Yes. Then he go back to doing what he's doing. And then when I say all right. Then you go back to doing what he was doing. So, but yeah, he didn't like. And it was so funny when we used to go to the Special Olympics. He was so quick and nimble at that size, that big, and one of the football players was actually trying to catch him and couldn't catch him. And he was like, "Man, I need to get this kid on this football team." I said, "You have no idea. Xavier could care less about football." I mean, he would take a softball, because he had such big hands, and take a bat, and because the softball throw, he would pick it up and just drop it on the ground. He had zero interest. I liked it because I used to take him to basketball games. We went to the Hawks games, football games, stadium, because a lot of black people say they don't like crowds.
Yes.
But that's for people to understand, it's about trust. Trust. And that's why the crowds bother them, because they don't trust. But Xavier trusted me anywhere. Because that was one of the things that was always saying, well, I can't get him to do this. And I said, well, he'll do it with me. So, well, he'll do anything for you. But that was trust. It was the trust.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I tell some of the parents, because not all the time, but sometimes when the two-parent household, the child will gravitate toward one for whatever reason. It's got nothing to do with loving one better than the other, or more than the other. It's just, again, it's a defense mechanism. That's where they feel safe. And again, it's about trust.
Man, I thank you. I absolutely thank you, because this is why I like to get the people that's in these situations, so they can teach us. Because like I say, up until 10, 15 years ago, I ain't know nothing about autism. Wow. And it's funny that there's these worlds out here that we're ignorant about. And if you don't have it, it's the same thing when we had Precious here and dealing with her son, and it was so, because to get her son in, we actually had to lift his chair to get him in.
Wow.
And one of the things I was like, we just got an inkling
Just
of what she had to go through
She goes through every day.
every day.
his entire life. And it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
It helps. And you become more aware.
And that's the goal. To be more aware. Because we hope that the awareness will spring a movement, which will spring a movement toward understanding.
Yes.
That's what this is all about. And don't get me wrong, Autism Awareness Month is good, but for people who would have on the spectrum, people who have caregivers on the spectrum, parents on the spectrum. Every day is Autism Awareness Day. Because again, every day brings a different challenge if you're not ready for it.
Yes.
And so that's why, again, getting back to what I was saying about the support group, I wish more people would take advantage of it because it is there. And like I said, when somebody passes a number on to me, I'm looking for somebody to call with. I want to share this information with somebody. I want to let people know what it is that you're up against. It's not as bad as you think it is. Perspective is everything.
Absolutely.
Perspective is everything.
Absolutely. Well, do me a favor. Give out all the ways that people can get in touch with you, the organization, and how they can help if they want to help and can receive help.
Absolutely. Again, like I said, the website is called the Hope for Xavier Foundation.org. That's the number 4, not F-O-R, number 4. Because that 4 came from, because I got 4 brothers. That's where that 4 comes from. This is 4. It was 4 of us. I can also be reached. I'm also a certified life coach. So my life coach is life with CoachSam.me. That's life with CoachSam.me. Of course, you got an email address, hopeforxavier@gmail.com. And of course, our Cash App is $Hope for X. And Venmo is Hope for Xavier Foundation at Venmo.
Okay. And the book, tell me.
And the book is called He Never Complains, Sam and Xavier, A Father and Son's Journey with Autism. And a quick story about how the title came about, because a friend of mine I used to work with, his name was Reggie. And, I always talked to him about Xavier. And one day he said, if you ever write a book, he said, I know what you need to call it. And I'm not even thinking about writing a book at this. He never complained. He said, Sam, I've been working with you for 14 years and I never heard you complain about nothing you had to do for that boy.
Right.
So when I got to write the book, I said, well, that's what I'm going to call it. He never complained. But it wasn't me who never complained. It was Xavier who never complained. So that's how that came. Shout out to, he's my podcast co-host, by the way, on the It's a Rap with Reggie Sam podcast. Podcast other people.
Okay.
And of course, I have another podcast called Xavier's Journey, where I talk about all of this stuff, giving out the information, because I stay on the internet looking up for stuff and letting people know what's going on in neurodevelopments and things like that. So, yeah, it's called Xavier's Journey.
Yeah, you emphasize, say the names of these podcasts.
Xavier's Journey podcast. It's on Spotify, iTunes. Used to be on Stitcher, but Stitcher's gone. But anyway, it's on those 2 platforms right now. So.
I did notice you on the book on Facebook as well.
Was Facebook? Oh, thank you. Forgot about the Facebook. We do have a Facebook page called the Hope for Xavier Foundation. You'll see my son's picture on there in a yellow shirt. You'll know that that's him because there's a couple of more that say Hope for Xavier, but they're not us. But the one you can tell with Xavier, he's got on a yellow shirt, yellow polo shirt, and a white baseball cap. That's Xavier.
Right. That's why I went on Facebook, because just hearing your story and your inspiring story, great story, I want to see what he looked like. So I went on Facebook and looked at
he was everybody say he was a handsome young man, so, and he liked himself a lot. And the weird thing is he loved white tennis shoes. He would not wear any other color but white tennis shoes. And I don't know how, but he never got them dirty. I don't know how, but he never got his white tennis shoes dirty. That was crazy. Yeah. My daughter and I were talking about that the other day. She was like, she said one thing, because his room is still there. She went by to see her mom, and she was looking in his room, and she saw some of his shoes. She said, Daddy, I look. She said, he kept them tennis shoes white, didn't he?
Well, I guess he took that off his mother. He said that she was a stickler for him.
I think when you have, from what I understand, what you said earlier, even with autism, you gravitate to something. Yeah. And you're really good at that one thing, And it could have been shoe cleaning, just like he liked the computer. And so and maybe his go-to. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what that was. I mean, it's how I discovered he was a computer like that and all that. All that stuff's in the book. And it's some funny stuff in there. And like I said, this is not a book about tragedy. It's a book about triumph.
Right.
Because if you read the back of it, this is a week. I wrote this letter to him, which is on the back of the book. I wrote that to him a week after we buried him. Mm-hmm. You know, telling him how I missed him, but I wouldn't be so selfish as to want you back, because I know heaven is an awesome place, and I know he's enjoying his other place. But Xavier was sitting here to do what he did. Like I say, he got when I get it through the pearly gates, it'll be because of this young man and what he done for me in my life. So that will always be my testimony.
Well, I thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I thank you, and
I appreciate it, man.
And I definitely want you back. Not only with the young man David, but also the people need to know about this stuff, because what I'm hoping is someone is gonna hear this that might be thanking their child, or they know, and they want to, and they will reach out.
Please do. I'm not a hard person. I try to be as likable as possible. I'm an easygoing guy, and I'm just here to help. And my help does not obligate you, and it doesn't cost you anything. That's why people like it. Well, what's it going to cost you? Because it's from my heart.
Absolutely right. Well, like I said, we thank you for coming in and sharing Xavier with us. Because I really wish I had met this young man.
Wow.
I really do, because he sounds like a great guy that you would just love to meet and just and just absorb his energy.
Yeah, and he had when it comes to music, he has such a sensitive ear to arrangements, because we were talking about arrangements, and so because sometimes I would listen to I'm an old school guy. I'm 64, so I listen to a lot of old school music. And back in the 70s, the arrangement was almost everything.
Yes.
And so he loved those kind of things. And if you know about it, he would find an arrangement on YouTube, and he would just play the arrangement and just keep repeating it. Repeat the arrangement. Whenever he found the arrangement, that's what he would do. He just repeat that part. Because he loved the arrangements. There's something about horns and strings. He just loved it. I don't care if it was in a country song. If he had an arrangement, he's listening to it. But yeah, he was an amazing human being, and he had an even more amazing spirit. So yeah.
From what I'm learning, his dad is an amazing human being.
I think you overstate, but I'll say thank you. But yeah.
Hey man, I gotta go by what I feel and what I'm seeing. And once again, like I say thank you for teaching us, schooling us, making us that much more aware.
Right. And that's the goal. Thank you again. I cannot thank you so much. Thank you enough for having me and allowing me to on your platform to get this awareness out even more. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you last year when I first, we need you in here because you boots on the ground. You're in it. You live the life, and that's the stuff that that I think people need to hear. You can hear all the statistics and get all the wheel, but until you get somebody that's doing it, being there in it, to get that knowledge plus the technical stuff and medical stuff. And when you can put those things together, to me, I think that's when you're learning. And once again, I thank you for what you've done, what you're going to continue to do. And as you progress in that, please make us aware. I mean, come back, like Absolutely. I say, you can come in, because we here every Thursday. Anytime the doors open, you can walk in. You don't want to cut the owl. That's why I want the owl to stay on. Yes, sir. But she gonna get me back, Lord. How much this fast? So tomorrow starts. My life gonna change tomorrow. But Lord help me, Jesus. But
we'll pray for you.
Please, I'm gonna need all the prayers. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I'm gonna need all the prayers, though.
Better for it.
I started a fast diet,
It's a cleanse.
cleanse. You call it what you want.
Better work a little overtime too.
Yeah.
You got to get some new clothes.
Hey,
Exactly.
That's going to Goodwill.
hey, man, cause Lord. Ooh. But I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna be better for it after these 30. But Lord, this woman, I know let me tell you what. I know why she doing it.
Uh-oh.
I like to say, my wife won't tell me I'm fat. She know I'm fat, but she won't tell me I'm fat.
What does she call it? Pleasingly plump?
No, she won't. You all right to me? She know.
What? That's love.
Right. It's
No,
called thick.
I told you.
But that's love because
I look the same to her. She know good and darn well.
Yeah.
She
Blind,
meant
hey,
she,
blind
but
love.
she's seeing with her eye, with her heart.
Right.
Is that what it is?
With a heart.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I was going to say he asked you.
I was just gonna say, my wife told me I was fat. She told me.
Well, she was seeing with her eyes.
She told me.
Yeah.
Well, Sean been around longer than I
Yeah. She still got them newlywed eyes over there.
Exactly.
Wait till next year. Yeah. Put out the sofa. Go watch the car, fat boy.
Man, this has been great, man. This has been great. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up. But like I say, Sam, anytime, especially when new stuff, when you get new stuff,
Absolutely.
please, because like
Absolutely.
I say, information and one of the goals of Talking Randomish is to get the information out to the people so they can make an informed decision with the knowledge.
Absolutely.
So that's one of our goals. And we're gonna be ready to wrap this thing up.
Sure.
Y'all know this is National Poetry Month. Anybody got a poem after us?
Absolutely not.
You ain't got no poem for me?
I don't have no
To sum up the month. Lee, you ain't got none?
I don't.
You,
I do not. I'm sorry.
You ain't got none. You ain't got none.
Not right off the top of my
You ain't
head.
got
I
none.
can read one of Larry's.
Good Lord. And Larry, how you gonna leave us without a poem? The poetry month. But I'm gonna say my spiel, then we gonna get ready to get on about this thing. This game called life is a series of moments. The past is just that, the past. Learn from it and be thankful for it. The future, prepare for it. It's coming. Let's get to the next one. The present is a gift. Enjoy the journey. Take plenty of pictures, but most importantly, thank God.
I got a poem.
Okay, let's get to me.
All right.
Okay.
Don't laugh, okay?
Okay, we ain't gonna laugh.
Y'all will.
But I'm ready.
Like roses are red, violets are blue. I am tired. What about you?
Me too.
If you a birthday boy, I wouldn't take it. But it's time to clean the clippers, sweep the floors. Slim Fit got the bathroom.
I got you.
In the words of Rita Lawson's son, Old Double Jack, the shop is closed.